Listen, everyone in the studio, be quiet. Keon, be quiet. Brandon, be quiet. You know why? Because it's Hump Day!
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Look at my camel.
Guess what today is?
Look at Humpty.
What is Hump Day? You don't remember what you named your Humpty?
I named him Humpty.
Oh, was it Humpty? Oh, my bad.
I just literally said, have some respect for Humpty. I just said his name. Good morning, everybody. Happy Hump Day. You know, it's not my favorite day of the week, but it's my favorite day of the week on this show because I get to introduce Humpty. And look, everyone in the chat is, what day is it? It's Hump Day! Goodness. Yes. And I'm also extra excited for this Wednesday because I get to break up the mundaneness of having to sit next to Brandon Marshall 4 days a week. Because one of my best friends in the entire world is on the show today. We have Liv Moods joining us. I'm very excited to have her grace us with her presence. There we go. Out of Colorado, which is getting a lot of buzz for a multitude of reasons. They won an NBA championship. Boulder has more black people in it than we have ever seen before. And of course, Liv is there. How are you, Liv?
I'm good. I'm so good. Yeah, there's a lot of Colorado talk, but not about my Broncos, that's for sure.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely not about the Broncos.
Yeah,
but listen, we can't win everything, Liv. We do have the Denver Nuggets. I see that you are constantly proudly displaying our now NBA champions.
She needs to switch it up.
Why are we reaching to our bag of stuff here, Brandon?
Well, no, because I don't like this color. I'm gonna put it on black. I don't like that color. So I'm gonna switch up my hat, Liv, and you need to switch up your background. Can we get a single shot of Liv really quickly, please? These TCU boots gotta go.
Whoa.
These TCU boots gotta go.
Oh God.
What's your record right now? That's first. And then the Denver Nuggets. Colorado, the Buffs are getting more action than the Denver Nuggets.
Brandon.
And they haven't won a championship in forever. What?
Brandon, say it with me. Colorado.
No, you can't. Why you do Colorado?
Colorado.
An O at the end.
Colorado. Colorado.
My God. Every single time you say Colorado, it's Colorado. It's Colorado.
Liv, when we going snowboarding, Liv, when I come out there, I'm coming to your basement and I'm clearing out that damn, whatever your woman cave is.
Whoa.
You know what? I've actually never been snowboarding or skiing in my life, and I've lived in Colorado my whole life.
That is wild.
That's insane.
I know.
You're going this year. Ashley's going to boxing events, and you're going snowboarding with me.
That's crazy.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right. Well, let's get things started on the topic of Colorado.
You like this color better on me?
Are you going to let me kick the show off?
Go.
Okay, you look fine. All black, everything. You can't go wrong with that. Are we good?
My guns are out.
Brandon, have your moment. Let's get 60 seconds to have your moment.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So you like the color?
Great. Black.
All right,
Can't go
boom.
wrong with it.
The guns are out. Can I get a compliment?
On what?
My guns are out. You know I've been eating better. I've been doing yoga.
You look lean,
Give
trim.
it to me.
You look like a lean green fighting machine. You feel good?
I'm good. I'm ready.
Can we get started?
I'm ready.
All right. Awesome.
Dear God.
All right. Listen. Let's reset. All right, we're going to reset here. All right, here we go. All eyes on Boulder, Colorado. Listen, Saturday's Rocky Mountain Showdown was ESPN's 5th most watched college football game ever. Yes, you heard that right, ever. The Buffs comeback win drew in 9.3 million viewers, shattering records for ESPN late night prime window viewership and the most streamed regular season game ever. Now, this is very impressive. Seeing if you were watching it on the East Coast like I was, the game started at 10 p.m. and did not end until 2:30 in the morning. But like I said, Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, Shiloh Sanders, the entire Colorado Buffaloes program is must-see TV. I mean, this is incredible. 9.3 million viewers, breaking records. They just keep climbing higher and higher. This is amazing.
Yeah, well, what I would say to this is, Deion Sanders, unbelievable. We'll never see another Deion Sanders. Everything that he does, the way he recruits, bringing out Lil Wayne the first time a football team has been walked out by an artist performing, and now, the glasses, I think now it's up to $4 million or something crazy to update on his sunglasses. I think Saturday in that one day, 24 hours is 1 point.
To open my kombucha.
There you go. $1.2 million in sales, and now it's at like 4. So Deion Sanders, to me, is going to go down as the greatest college football coach ever.
Whoa.
If he stays. Because Deion Sanders has the ability to recruit better than anyone else, and that's the name of the game at the college level. It's not really about the X's and O's. If you have the X's and O's, then you'll create a dynasty like they did in Alabama, right? Deion Sanders has the ability to put together a staff, keep a staff, pay the staff well to keep them, right? So they can have great football. That's what they're in the position to do. But Deion Sanders, he's in a league of his own, when it comes to, recruiting and being able to create an environment that young athletes want to go to. So, shout out to Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffs. Did I say that right?
You did not.
They're doing some legendary things. But Liv, I gotta say this. They're playing against what?
Oregon.
They're playing against
USC.
No, Oregon this week.
And then USC.
So everyone, this is going to be a tough 2 games, and I don't expect them to be on the other side undefeated. But doesn't mean that they're not going to finish, with a legendary year and still have amazing attention, engagement around the program. So I just want everybody just pump the brakes. Don't go too fast.
You obviously live in Colorado, the Denver area. Yes. I want to ask you, you tweeted about this. You said there's never been this many black people in Boulder, Colorado. We've made that joke a few times, but how true is that? Boulder, Colorado, the demographics like 95% white. So this is a big deal.
No, it totally is a big deal. This is not just a new and improved football program, but it's a whole culture that is really, really cool to see in Boulder. Boulder is the type of city you drive to and there's tie-dye shirts and everyone's got their dogs out and they're barking and they're wearing sandals and it is not Deion Sanders at all. So the coach prime effect in full force in Boulder is a really, really cool thing to see because again, it's diversity. Now, will those people always be there or will they trickle in for the football season only? We'll see. But I think what we're seeing with Deion is not just an improved football program, but just a culture shift, which I think Boulder has needed for a very long time.
Yeah, this is definitely amazing to see. Deion is prime TV, and so is his team. But speaking of his team, Travis Hunter has broken his silence on the infamous hit. Travis Hunter, as you guys know or may not know, is out 3 to 4 weeks with a lacerated liver after a hit by safety Henry Blackburn that a lot of people have been debating on whether or not it was a dirty or clean football play. But Travis Hunter defended Henry Blackburn's hit on him in the Colorado versus Colorado State game, saying that's what happens when you play football. He said, quote, "It's football at the end of the day. Stuff like that is going to happen. He did what he was supposed to do. It's football." He went a little bit more into depth in a absolutely fabulous giraffe onesie. So we have the video. Go ahead and play this.
It's football though, at the end of the day. Stuff like that's going to happen. So I just stay humble. Hey, he did what he was supposed to do. It's football. Something bad's going to happen on the field sooner or later. We just got to get up and fight again. That's what I try to do. Get up and fight. Good thing the doctors stopped me because if there was no doctors there, I would have still been out there playing. But I'm thankful for everybody that helped me that day. Yeah, boy, it's going to be a speedy recovery.
First and foremost, I'm adding that giraffe onesie to my Christmas giveaway that I'm, my Christmas list gift, whatever list gift to the show in it. That I'll be the giraffe. What do you want? An elephant or something?
The giraffe. Give me a lion.
Of course you would want a lion, Jesus. Lion. Anyway,
lion.
Well, listen, Brent, are you on drugs?
Go.
What is up with you? Listen, well, Travis Hunter wasn't the only one who spoke out on his hit. Deion Sanders actually spoke out as well, and his response is going viral for once again just showing the utmost amount of grace to his opponents. Go ahead and check this out.
Henry Blackburn is a good player who played a phenomenal game.
He made a tremendous hit on Travis on the sideline. You could call it dirty. You could call it he was just playing the game of football. But whatever it was, it does not constitute that he should be receiving death threats. This is still a young man trying to make it in life, a guy that's trying to live his dream and hopefully graduate with honors or degree, committed to excellence and go to the NFL. He does not deserve a death threat over a game. At the end of the day, this is a game. Someone must win, someone must lose. Everybody continues their life the next day. Very unfortunate. I'm saddened if there's any of our fans that's on the other side of those threats. I would hope and pray not, but that kid was just playing the best of his ability, and he made a mistake. So I forgive him. CU, our team forgive him. Travis he's forgiven him. Let's move on. But that kid does not deserve that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, both incredible remarks from both Travis Hunter and Deion Sanders. Liv, I'll start with you and then we'll end it with Brandon. I mean, it's been talked about a lot on NFL Twitter. This has been dissected, overanalyzed, flipped upside down. I mean, everyone has an opinion about it. Was it clean? Was it dirty? You know, obviously the result of this is Travis Hunter, a major part of that Colorado team, is going to be out 3 to 4 weeks with a major injury. I mean, a lacerated liver is nothing to play with. But again, it just shows to, I guess, the character of this football team and what Deion Sanders just is constantly instilling in them, that this is what, you know, they say when it's all said and done. I mean, what did you make of both of these remarks?
I mean, I think it's exceptional. I think and I will fully take responsibility for this. I think that it's funny because every time I try to talk about CU, if I'm not like praising them, then I'm just a salty loser from week 1 of college football, which Brandon loves to remind me about every chance he gets. But nonetheless, I digress. I think that it's really cool to see those moments because I think what all this media attention brought on by Deion just because of who he is, it's so easy to catch the flashy moments, the Rolex and the camera, the things that could be perceived as very obnoxious, which I will be honest, I have found obnoxious at times. So to see them on a human level, to see the type of leader that they have in Deion speaking so, you know, just wonderfully. He's a great, if you take away all the media, all the hype, all the hoopla, which is really what we've seen from this CU team so far in terms of, I mean, Lil Wayne, who has ever had Lil Wayne on the field as an intro to welcome the team? But I think when you remove the hoopla and you can see how cool these people are, I think right now Travis Hunter is the most likable athlete in college football.
Right.
It's really, interesting, really you know, that Liv brings that up because she is someone, I think for the most part, the majority of people have kind of celebrated the flashiness and the swagger of the Colorado Buffs. Liv actually absolutely hates it.
Yeah, it's a fresh perspective.
She was not a fan of, you know, the pregame, you know, little tussle, little trash talk between the two. You know me, I'm
why?
I'm a fan. I like I'm a fan. This is where we differ because I enjoy it. Like I'm a trash talker.
Go ahead,
so
Liv.
I like it.
Go ahead,
no,
Liv.
and I do like some good trash talk. Here's the only thing that I express concern about, and I actually talked with a CU Buffs alumni about this, and we had a really great conversation, and I just said, listen, the more you run your mouth, whatever, the target on your back gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and I will never take away a 3-0 start from this Buffs team. However, their talent down the road gets harder and harder and harder. So while a cool Rolex flash to the camera is cool now, it could become a laughable meme down the road. And I felt the same way about Caleb Williams last year. Like when you're an exceptional talent, there is a layer of, I don't want a guy like Shedeur Sanders to get lost in the noise because he is so exceptionally talented. And a lot of times, and I'm not saying this is what I predict for him, but a lot of times we see these athletes get so wrapped up in the extra stuff that follows the world of football that they end up, you know, going to the professional league and don't have a super successful run there. So I just don't want him to get lost in the noise because at the end of the day, the noise that has been created around CU is because of Deion. And Deion has the resume and has the accolades to where anything he says, any trash talk he has, any comment he makes, he's already backed it up. So there's no, Deion has earned the right. I'm not saying Shador or Travis Hunter or any of these guys haven't. I just don't want them to get so lost in the media, the noise, the hype, that they lose sight of the talent that they have, because they're exceptional.
Well, Liv, think about this. The things that made Deion successful in, football, in television, he's now taking to coaching, and he's been doing this. This is nothing new for Deion Sanders. He's been coaching Little League football for 20-something years, high school football. He's been coaching his son for a very long time. So he's not going to change now, right? Deion has always been counterculture to the NFL or to sports. He's always been counterculture to just ball, period. That's what makes him Deion Sanders. That's what makes him primetime, right? So I don't think that there's nothing wrong with this. Deion Sanders understands what comes with this. The fights on the field that he had, those legendary fights against Rising, Atlanta versus, I think he's with the Cowboys maybe at the time, or maybe the San Francisco 49ers, battling one of his best friends and, old teammates, all the pushback he got back then. So he's used to this. I do agree with you. Though, that there may be some on that team, in that locker room, that may not be ready yet. But Deion is prepping them every single day for the spotlight. And I think he's doing a tremendous job, not only, creating the engagement and creating the noise, but he's doing a great job of staying the leader that he's always been. The community has always looked up to Deion. So in this situation with Travis Hunter breaking his silence on the head, and you talk about the kid, Deion Sanders handled it perfectly, because not only are you leading these guys in your locker room, but you're also leading all these other young men that's been looking up to you and been a super fan for a very long time.
Of course,
so,
of course.
I love how he's
handled. I love the Deion factor of it is not like, remove that from it. There is no pushback on anything Deion is doing, because how can you? He's one of the greatest. What you said. I just don't want. Not every athlete can handle the balance of the skill, the talent, the game, and the hype, the hoopla, the noise.
They have to, though. They have to.
Yeah, they do.
But that doesn't mean that they
can.
No,
it's not. No, you have to, because if Deion Sanders didn't do all of this, if he didn't act this way, Deion Sanders would have never gotten this gig. If Deion Sanders didn't act this way, if this wasn't who he was, they wouldn't be this successful. They wouldn't have been able to turn around this roster, turn around this team in a matter of 3 to 4 months. 80 new guys? Are you kidding me? Last year they won 1 ball game? So this is exactly what he needs to do if he wants to be successful. So I hear you there, but so far, it seems like the guys are responding well to it.
And also, I'll say this. I mean, I feel like, does it put a larger target on their back? Maybe, but the target's already there. I mean, the target was there the minute Deion took the gig.
It's getting bigger, though,
and
Ash.
it gets bigger every time they win.
Every week it gets bigger.
But every time they win, it gets bigger. Every time there's a scandal about, a coach saying, take your glasses off, or Shador has an incredible game, and they beat somebody they're not supposed to beat, and they do it with a little bit more sweat. I mean, there's a target on their back every single possible direction. So does, the glitz, the glam, the flash, does that add an additional target? Maybe, but you can't, all you can do is add to what already existed. And their swag is not the reason they have a target. It's everything that comes with the fact that, when was the last time you saw Lil Wayne walk out of college team?
That's right.
That's a target.
The thing that makes me nervous.
So play into it.
This is the last thing I'll say here. The thing that makes me nervous, Ashley and Liv, is not all the other stuff, right? Because that comes with haters, and we all have haters, all right? But when you go out there before the game and you get into tussles, you throw up your watch, right? You get in that type of banter. What happens is those guys like Hunter, whatever the kid's name is. No. What's the safety that hit him?
Henry Blackburn.
Henry Blackburn. That wouldn't have happened if they didn't have all of that commotion leading up to the game.
I don't think that's true.
I'm telling you, listen to me.
I do think it's true.
Ashley, I'm telling you, that's why I never talk trash, because I like, for me, I'm thinking about longevity. I was thinking about, I can't take those extra hits. Whenever I got into it, whether it was Vontaze Burfict, whether I got into it with Talib, even Darrell Revis, it wasn't just them, but it was the entire defense. When you fall as a receiver, they're coming and you remember I said this, top off. Yeah, y'all laughed at me. They come top off. You might be down and they come put their helmet right in your back or in your ribs. In plays like this, he wanted him to feel this pain. So when you do that, this is what comes with it. So that's the only thing that they have to be concerned about, not the other stuff. But when you start bantering and people got to separate you, that spills onto the field.
Yes, of course, but let's not forget the trash talking that happened prior to the game was between Shador and another player. So if that's the ideology behind this, why did Travis Hunter take a hit from Henry Blackburn? They weren't talking trash to each other.
Travis Hunter, there's video of Travis Hunter talking trash,
but he was
talking trash as well. But it doesn't. But it doesn't matter though.
I hear what you're saying. You get into a pregame scuffle with Josh Norman before the game. Now he's coming for you extra hard. I get that part. But what you're saying is Travis Hunter talking trash to you. Now all of a sudden your teammate's gonna top off on, for what reason?
That's football.
But
that's
also,
the best way I can say it, Ashley, is that when you have all. Hold on one second. When you asked me a question, let me answer it.
I didn't finish though.
Go ahead.
My finishing point was this though. It was also a rivalry game. It was going to happen regardless.
No,
there
Ashley,
was tension in that game before it even started.
Twin, you know I'm with you when you're right. Twin, you know I'm with you when you're right. Twin, you know I strapped up a long time.
And I'm going to tell you
was
guys,
the coach not going at Deion Sanders before the game even started?
Yes, but what I'm saying, when you have that right there is okay, right? And that's just going to be a really intense game. But when players, our psyche totally changed. We're trying to eliminate distractions. We're trying to figure out our playbook. When we go out there and we got to be separated, that's a different type of energy.
Of course.
That's anger. That's rage. Think about it. We got to go out there. We got to turn on the switch. We got to turn into gladiators. You got to turn into a different type of person when you do that. So now it goes from just being professional, just doing my job, to now you click into a different type of level. Like, excuse my language, but it's almost like I'm fucking about to take your head off. So,
and I'm going to tell you, for those that have watched Boulder before Deion, as a Colorado resident, the Rocky Mountain Showdown happens every single year. It has never, ever felt this personal. This has always been just two average teams coming together. Now, to your point, Ash, when you added Deion Sanders, that's an automatic target.
Right.
But this, there were people that, and I said this to my brother even, we were sitting on the couch and he hits, when Travis Hunter takes that hit, my brother was like, well, that looked personal. It's like, we could tell even sitting from the couch that there was something behind that was bigger than I'm just going to knock this guy over. It looked very personal. And I think that, again, when I say target, there is obviously a natural target on their backs, just the situation that they're in. But I know for a fact, the more that there's like, the trash talk, the whatever happening week after week, and they get more confident with each win, which they should, but there's defenses sitting there rubbing their hands together going, ooh, I can't wait.
No, I'm not arguing with
players.
either one of you. What I'm saying is did the trash talk prior to the game add to it? Sure. But was it going to be that level of intensity regardless? I believe so. You have Deion Sanders. The Colorado Buffaloes are the hottest team in Colorado. Colorado State probably like, what have they done to go ahead and have all this attention, all this notoriety, except have Deion Sanders and his two sons on the team.
Right.
You have Kawhi Leonard, Lil Wayne on the sidelines. Everybody's talking about the Buffaloes. It's Buffalo this, Buffalo that. You had Coach Norvell go at Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders then mocked him in the meeting, giving out sunglasses. All I'm simply saying is, had that trash talk not happened pregame, this game was going to have already an insane level of intensity amongst players. I'm not saying it helped the situation, but I don't think that was the catalyst for why the game was intense. There was already a list of factors that was going to make it an intense game regardless.
No, you're right. It was going to be intense. The environment was going to be like that. But and Liv, you use the right word. When it turns personal on the field, when you have to be separated, when you're out there and you're throwing a watch in somebody's face,
right?
And then whatever you said, even when I think Aaron Rodgers said this in preseason to the guy
for that game.
Well, he did it.
No, I think the watch was
he did it in that game and the game before.
The original was the game prior.
Yeah, and then you have Aaron Rodgers who says something like, "Who are you? I don't know who you are." When you start talking trash,
right?
And I've experienced this. the intensity go to a whole nother level. I played in the Chicago Bears versus the Packers, right? I've been in some dope rivalries where it's intense. You know, there's a lot of trash talking leading up to it. But when I've been in a situation where, you know, me and Richard Sherman has to be separated by Pete Carroll before the game and Talib in the game, and you got Derek Brooks like, yo, youngins, y'all need to stop cursing. People are listening. What happens is, I abandon all responsibility. There's been times where Vontaze Burfict talked about my wife. There's been times where other dudes talked about, you know, mental health, certain things, and I look at my coach, Jay Cutt, I don't give a damn what play you calling right now. Don't even look at me. I'm going over there. If you want me to run a go route, I don't give a damn. Play off. I'm going to take this dude's head off.
Oh, for sure.
And it's vice versa, right? Yeah. Like these dudes is coming, and I use the word all the time, top off. So you can feel it in those games. And that's why for me, Liv and Ash, like I always stayed away from. I'm like, you know what? Longevity. I don't have time to do that. I'm trying to get the win. I'm trying to get my 100 yards. That's what I'm trying to do. And then afterwards, that's when I talk my trash. Go in there in the media. I had a legendary one. We can move on after this. Liv, I had a legendary one. Me and Joey Porter got into it. And he is talking trash. And after the game, we did our thing. We won. I went in there. I was like, yeah, popcorn muscle. You the dude in the middle of the club with your shirt off, dancing, da-da-da-da-da. And it went viral. So I just waited, and I got on him. So, you know, that's my little 2 cents right there.
Well, listen. At the end of the day, the intensity turned personal, and that's never okay. At least that's how it came across. Obviously, Colorado State head coach Norville said that it was just a football play that ended up in a devastating injury for Colorado and Travis Hunter. We can go ahead and debate this till the cows come home. Everyone's going to have their opinion, whether it was dirty, whether it was clean, whether it was a football hit, whether it was personal. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders, Travis Hunter have both offered grace, and we're going to go ahead and move on. But listen, from one altercation to another, new footage has emerged following the conclusion.
More beef?
Yes, more beef. New footage has emerged following the conclusion of the Saints-Carolina game on Monday night. The Saints-Panthers game, rather, I should say, on Monday night. The video shows Panthers DL Derek Brown charging at Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas. It looks like they got into some sort of verbal altercation that turned semi-physical. We have the video. Take a look.
Wow, I ain't see this.
Now, obviously, it was a little spicy. The Saints did end up winning that game. They are 2-0 for the first time since 2013.
Football's back, baby! Football's back! I'm obnoxious. I'm sorry.
Can I actually trying to get through the damn headline and Brandon keeps
my God.
like a kid.
The Saints are 2-0 for the first time since 2013. Brandon, what did you make of that?
I mean, it kind of piggybacks off of our last conversation.
Derek Brown's a big boy.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought about. Ash,
I don't like to, I'm not scary. Like, if you want to smoke, listen. But Derek Brown's a big guy. I would have been like, hey, bro, like, I don't want no problem.
It reminds me of, like, getting into it with, like, Richard Seymour and Warren Sapp, those type of dudes. Like, I'm talking, when they crossed Warren Sapp crossed the line, right? He said some personal stuff, right? He crossed the line. But I'm going at it with him. But I'm protected on the field, right? And I'm like that. I'm the type of dude that'll be in the tunnel doing that. But not against a big boy like that.
Yeah, he's a big
right?
guy.
So it reminded me of that. It's like, damn, like, you know, I'm trash talking one of these big dudes. They cross the line and, you know, you lose your mind. It's almost like Plant. Remember we had Plant on? He's like,
Caleb.
Caleb Plant, something clicks in your head. And he's like, my manhood. I'm getting challenged. I got my respect.
Right.
Right? So you try to handle your business, but that's scary, man, because, like, you know, you're in a tunnel against somebody like that, and it's one-on-one. There was only one coach in there.
Liv, you saw the video. We can replay it as we dissect this a little bit more, but it kind of looked like Michael Thomas was, barking that bark when
Look,
he had some distance
look at him back it up.
between them.
Look.
But
took off. He
as
took
Derek
off.
Brown
He
got a
wasn't
little
trying
bit
to-
closer, he was like, nah. I want no smoke, bro.
Ooh. He had his listen, I played with Mike T.
Security.
I played with Mike T, and I would say he has a switch. So
For sure.
I don't. He probably was in the same situation that I probably would have been in, or he's probably thinking the same way. Like, damn, I'm a back it up, my trash talk, whatever, on the field. But then when it spills over in the tunnel, he was like, damn, all right, this is real.
Security.
Once he got close and he realized just how big he was like, nah, fam. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. Where
funny.
is the security? Damn it. He's on the wrong side of the locker room. Get me out of here.
I don't think the security wanted the smoke either. He probably took off just like Mike did.
It's like one of those, like the movies where like they do like record scratch and it's freeze, and like right before you get hit, the guy goes, "You're probably wondering how I ended up here." Mike was trying not to have that situation.
What's this guy's name?
Derek Brown.
Derek, let's see how big Derek Brown is. Pause.
Oof.
Derek, go ahead. You keep going. Derek Brown.
Why did you pause that?
How big he is? That's not a pause.
I mean,
Liv, I'm just learning how this whole pause thing. I didn't grow up doing the pause thing.
Did you see the Iowa quarterback? He had 2 pause moments.
Yeah, Liv.
He did.
Liv, I played
really good pause moments.
Liv, I played the video yesterday. I wish we had the footage of Ashley's response when I played it. She just stared at me and looked at me, made me look like I was dumb. Can we play the video that Liv just talked about from yesterday? The pause. Can we pull that video?
I have a very young sense of humor, so that kind of stuff totally makes me laugh.
I grew up in New York. I've been hearing pause my entire life.
So while we're pulling up the video that Liv is referring to, and we played it yesterday, and Ashley looked at me like I was crazy. Derek Brown is 6'5", 270 pounds. Jeez. And Mike T is probably 6'3", 212 pounds.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's
a very specific number.
Yeah, that's like Anthony Joshua or what's the other guy's name? Anthony Joshua going against Gervonta Tank Davis. Like, you have no chance. You got to hit and run. Do we have that video? They're pulling up.
God.
Okay, we'll bring it back up.
Do we have to watch this again? It wasn't funny the first time.
Yes, because it's funny.
They got it. Let's roll it.
God.
I love it.
You guys are children.
Do we have it?
Really everyone just being on the same page, because we know these guys are going to come a lot. I mean, there's but I mean, we have to be on key with our hots. We got to be on key with our protection. So, I was not expecting that, but yeah.
All right.
Oh my God!
Ashley,
it just made him really lovable. Like the way he giggled about it. It was a cute moment.
He's adorable. Like the way, but like what he said, they're gonna come a lot. I would have even like flinched at that.
I know, but he made it funny. Like Keon said, he made it funny. Liv, I wish you were here yesterday. Ashley looked at me like I was so dumb. I'm like, damn, I woke up this morning, she put together this amazing rundown. Just shout out to Ashley. Want to give her some love publicly. She should win the Sports Emmy in front of the camera and behind, because she's also she moonlights moonlight as a producer. So
not to my liking.
So hold on. So she puts together this amazing rundown, Liv. And sometimes I come in, I'll just mess some stuff up. Like I added some stuff today to be messy here in a second, but I put this in there, and so I put it in there. I'm expecting that she's gonna have fun and get a good laugh, because me and the boys did behind the scenes, and she looked at me like I was crazy, made me feel very small. Ashley, you made me feel very small.
Is that a pause moment?
Is that why you?
Ashley, give me some. Twin.
That was good, Ashley.
That was
real good.
That was good.
Okay.
That was good.
All right, listen, we have major merger moves in the mix, because it is being reported that the XFL and USFL are in advanced talks to merge.
Like it.
An announcement could come as soon as this week. Now, in 2023, both leagues competed with a few weeks of overlap. The XFL started 1 week after the Super Bowl, and the USFL started in April. The XFL, the 2023 season, represented the third crack at making it a go. So they've been trying to make this happen for a while. And the USFL returned after multiple decades of going dark in 2022. So both these leagues are trying to find their footing again after, going through some trials and tribulations. I've always said that the NFL has been crazy for not utilizing the XFL or USFL as a farm league like they do in the NBA with the G League. I don't understand why it's not been a thing. It's still not a thing, but the XFL and USFL say, hey, you know what? We're not waiting for y'all. We're going to make something happen on our own. I'm just curious what the name would be, like USFXL.
I think you stay with XFL. I think The Rock and Danny Garcia, his ex-wife, also business partner, are doing a phenomenal job with the branding and the business around the XFL. I like this merger, Liv, because if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And to Ashley's point, there's a huge challenge and a gap between the NCAA and the NFL. And some people say, well, what do you mean there's a huge gap, right? That's the process. You go to high school, then you go to the, college, you play, and then you get a chance at the NFL, excuse me. Well, think about this. There's only, 200-something gentlemen that get drafted every single year, but there's 2,000 guys out there that's more than capable of playing in the NFL if they're developing. So the only opportunities right now is if you go to Canada, but there's stipulations and rules in Canada, how many, foreigners they can have play, et cetera, et cetera. And then if you sign, you can't then go to the NFL if you get the call. So I absolutely love this because there's so many offensive linemen, defensive linemen, cornerbacks that are ready, that can play, but they need a little bit more time. Right. So that's the problem that the NFL is trying to solve. And I do believe, I know this to be true. The NFL is definitely invested in the XFL, USFL succeeding.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to bridge the gap. It'll make the jump less significant, like you said. And Ashley nailed it when she said that it's kind of serving as it could serve as like the G League for the NFL, which they should have done a long time ago.
For sure. I don't understand why they haven't explored that, but
it's got to make money though. Remember, they were doing like NFL Europe. They had some stuff going on. There's always been some type of league trying to break through. The problem has always been they tried to compete against the NFL.
No, as I'm saying, but I'm saying if you use the XFL as the official farm league of the NFL, that would mean that the NFL's funding and marketing would be behind it in some capacity. Even if not full capacity, even 75-50% capacity would completely increase what the XFL is doing. It's awareness across the league, it's awareness across football fans, maybe internationally. Like, it would just completely be a game changer for what they're trying to do. I don't understand why they haven't even explored that yet, but this could be a step in the right direction, is merging these two leagues first, and then maybe that would make it a little bit more appealing to the NFL later down the road. But we shall see. Listen, speaking of new ventures, you want to golf like Tiger or you want to sing like Justin? Because Tiger Woods and Justin Timberlake are launching a new upscale sports and restaurant called T-Squared Social. The new venture features a bowling alley, 200-inch TV, full swing simulators, 22,000 square feet, entire city block. So if you are a New Yorker, that's an entire city block. The first location actually opens today in New York City.
That ain't no entire block.
22,000 square feet. It's an entire city block.
No, Ashley, this is 20,000 square feet. The building that we're in now, this ain't no block.
Which is if you stretched it out the long way, it would be a block.
Like straight. Okay.
It'd be a block.
Yeah. Go ahead, Liv.
This is cool. Like, when I was growing up in New York,
don't be laughing at me, Liv. I hear you over there.
When I was growing up in New York, we used to have something that I loved so much, and it went out of business. It was called the ESPN Zone. And I remember having my 5th grade field trip there. We saw Beauty and the Beast on Broadway, and we went to the ESPN zone, and you can get food, and there were TVs everywhere. It was kind of like a Dave & Buster's, but even cooler. It was ESPN owned it. So they would always have ESPN programming. ESPN games were broadcast there. There was an area where you could play games, and we had a few of those in the city. The one that I went to was in Times Square. It was such a cool spot. Then it ended up, it went out of business, unfortunately. And then there were some other places. The 40/40 Club was a cool place that you can go ahead and watch sports and drink and eat food. That recently shut down as well. They plan on reopening it in a different location. There were some other smaller places in between that, but New York needs something like this.
Well, Liv, I don't know if you remember, you probably were too young. You grew up in Denver, but in 2006, I was drafted to the Broncos, and I was there to 10, right? 16th Street, they had ESPN Zone.
ESPN Zone.
I used to go there. Did you ever go to the ESPN Zone downtown?
No.
No. I'm not surprised, Ashley, that you would go see, what did you say, Beauty and the Beast?
I didn't pick it.
Where did you go?
It was Beauty and the Beast. I didn't pick it.
Isn't that so like Ashley Liv, like Beauty and the Beast, then I go to ESPN, right? Like I'm sorry. Right.
She just said 6 times that she didn't get to pick.
It was a 5th grade trip. It was a graduation
Oh my
trip.
bad.
But it was so.
I barely listen to Ashley when she be talking sometimes.
Likewise. It was my 5th grade field trip, and the girl who was, I don't know, my Disney Channel OGs would know what this is. Even Stevens, remember with Shia LaBeouf?
Oh yes, of course I remember that show.
So the girl who played his sister, I'm forgetting her name, but she was playing Belle in Beauty and the Beast. That's how far back this goes. So we saw that on Broadway, and then we went to the ESPN Zone. It was very cool.
It's good.
I remember what I ate.
But that's still, you listen,
Chicken
you didn't pick
fingers
it.
and fries.
Liv, okay, she didn't pick it, Liv, but that's so Ashley, right? So elegant, ladylike, and then all sports, right? So
you know what's crazy? She is very elegant and ladylike, but that can change like quicker than you can blink.
Yeah, right.
Quicker than you can blink, she can, like, that New York comes out and I'm like,
So don't worry, I got my sage. I have sage sitting right here in between us, because when it goes there, I start saging her ass.
No, when she flips, I turn into Michael Thomas and I'm gone.
Listen,
I'm out. I'm out.
It's actually very true, because when we did my birthday a few years ago in Antigua, we had like a really like luxurious, really like cute, classy day on the beach. It was so much fun. It was great. It was food. We were on like a private island. It was sick. The Cowboys were playing that night, and I had to watch the game on the Nickelodeon stream because I couldn't get any of the other channels in Antigua.
Imagine your team getting beat and there's slime on the field.
Oh my God. So I'm watching this game. That's the game we got eliminated. We were playing the 49ers. Was it the 49ers or the Rams? I think it was the 49ers.
It was the 49ers.
Yes.
It was the 49ers.
So I'm watching the game. I'm already stressed out because they're losing. And then there's slime and Patrick Starr throwing shade my way. Like, that's not going to work. I was like, yo, Patrick, I will mollywop you. Like, stop talking to me.
I literally.
And we were in a van that was like,
I was pissed.
On a cobblestone road. There was no Wi-Fi. She's trying to search for a signal. We had to stop at an ATM, and so she's like trying to catch a signal from the building, and so it's like there's like slime, Patrick Starr, Cowboys losing, and like bad connection.
Like every time the Cowboys would do something, Patrick was like, I don't think that's what you're supposed to do. Like, yo, Patrick, I will drag you. Stop talking to me, dog. Like, I was fed up.
I took the kids to a taping of that show with Nate Burleson. Yeah. And they gave me like the slime hats and stuff. I literally just threw it away. You may have seen him sitting in the studio here, the big green hat that I had right here. Yeah, that was that. I wish I had. I would have put it on.
Did you like it?
It was cool. Nate Burleson, was doing some dope things. So it was cool to see him working behind the scenes. Hey, let's move on a little bit, guys. Y'all know I love to get messy. Liv, you know I love to get messy, okay? Keeping up with the Kardashians. Have you guys been keeping up with the Kardashians?
No. It's hard to keep up with them. They're doing something new every damn day.
Okay, well, listen, Saint, Kim K and Kanye West's son, I guess he was going to basketball practice. Walking in, they had their security, and, he had a few teammates with him. And then there was paparazzi, and then he flicked them off. Are you not surprised? This is so Kanye. I want to show y'all this video. Little Saint getting out of the car, going to basketball practice, wherever he's going, and he flicks off paparazzi. Look at him. Look, she's trying to keep him straight. Yo, I love their kids. I love their personalities, right? Like, look, he's smiling, he's laughing.
Okay, can I just maybe
That's Kanye's
roast you
son.
for 1 second? I have met a few people that do the same thing. Why do we say flick off? I thought it was flip.
Oh, really? Is it flip?
Yeah, flip off.
It's not flick off?
Well, flick off means something a little bit different.
What does flick off mean?
It doesn't mean that.
Like I think flick the bean, and that's
Flick.
something that's a whole nother conversation.
That's exactly what I was
Flick
thinking.
the bean?
Yes.
Flicking the bean.
What's flicking
and
the
if
bean?
you don't, go to Urban Dictionary to find out, because I'm not breaking it down for you, B. Martin.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not breaking it down
That's
for you.
exactly what I think of.
Flicking
That's
the bean?
Right.
You don't
So
know
when
what
he
that
Let me
means.
Google
We
flicking
don't know
the
what that
bean.
means.
When
No,
he was
Ashley, you
talking
know,
this
I'm
morning, when he said
39. What are you
flick
talking
off,
about?
I was like, what?
No, it's flip off. I don't know why people
Thank
say.
you. I'm
'cause,
like,
yeah.
I can't hear flick and think middle
Flicking.
finger. I mean, maybe middle finger, but not in the air.
Flicking the bean.
Go ahead, go ahead and look up flick the bean, and let us know what's up.
Hold on. Let me look at images. Hold on, Mayo. Hold on.
Pause.
Yo.
How do you not know what that means? I'm concerned you don't know what that means.
I'm 39.
That's
I just cared about.
That's an old saying.
I just cared about football. That's it.
You don't know what
That's
that
a
means?
big pause right there.
No.
When you said flicking off, I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
It means this.
What?
Oh, look, she gonna show me how to know. Ashley's wild. Y'all wild. You wilder than me. All right. Well, listen.
The chat is dumbfounded. You don't know what that means.
Yo, there's so much I don't know. Like,
Well,
for real, I lived
now
in a
you know.
box. I lived in a box. All I cared about was football, man. That was it. Here we go. Let's.
Sorry,
move-
had to take a little.
No, it's
wider
good. I
time
love that. This
just
is
to
paper
clarify.
route. This is paper route. Shout out to the chat. We're booming today. We're jumping. Shout out to SiriusXM, Faction Talk, Channel 103. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to Liv out in Denver. Shout out to Ashley Nicole Moss. No sage today. She didn't have to sage me, but she definitely put me in my place. Keeping Up with the Kardashians Part 2.
Oh, God.
You know, I like to get messy. Is it OBJ? Yeah, took off a year. Hey, he was down, out. He was bad. Came back out week 1, crying. Oh my goodness, I'm back. Week 2, catches a slant, non-contact. Boom, boom, ankle. Something happened. Could it be the Kardashian curse? I don't know if y'all seen this. They're
Listen,
reportedly dating.
Curse is real, man.
That and then this is a what is it called, a credible source. They're saying that they're friendly. They're friendly. All right. So before I even get to the football stuff, and I might not even get to the football stuff, do y'all like them as a couple? Do you like them as a couple? Go ahead, Liv.
I mean, I really liked his girl Lolo.
Me too. I love Lauren.
I really love.
I'm biased. I can't even enter this conversation. I'm Team Lauren. I think she's a sweet
Yeah,
girl.
I really like Lolo, but I also
yeah.
don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I don't know why they ended it. Maybe she did. Maybe she felt like she deserved better. Maybe it was the other way around. I'm a big fan of hers. I don't know. I mean, yeah, the Kardashian curse is real. I feel like when you get especially with sports, man, we see it all the time with the NBA. So I'm not like pro this relationship. I am pro another relationship that got confirmation this morning about an NFL player. And
Oh, that's
What
true.
happened?
Yeah.
Jason Kelce went on radio this morning and said that the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift rumors are true.
Woo! Travis continue to win. That's my dog. He continue to win. I love this for him.
Yeah, I like that one. I can ship that one. I don't know about Kim K and OBJ.
Really? It's interesting.
I don't care, so I feel like I'm the wrong one.
Wasn't she just rumored with Tom Brady like 2 weeks
Who,
ago?
Kim K? No, Tom Brady's, the supermodel or something?
I thought she was with Bradley Cooper.
Nah.
See,
Y'all got to
keeping
keep
up
up
with
with the
the
gossip.
Kardashians,
Y'all don't know the
They
tea.
were on the beach topless.
How do I know
together.
all the tea and y'all don't know the tea?
She was
Y'all
on
supposed
the-
to know the
she
tea.
was on
Because
the
you're
beach
clearly keeping up with the
topless him.
Kardashians a whole lot more than we are, Brandon.
Hey, I'll be honest with you guys. No, I can't be too honest on the TV. That's a tough one though. Think about it, Keon. Think about it.
You can't dangle
Kylie-
the carrot and then not be
What's
honest.
the other one's name? Kendall. You know who I used to love and who I used to admire the most? My favorite Kardashian was Khloe. Damn, Tristan.
Do you not anymore?
I mean, I'm like, that was back when the Kardashians first came out, and I used to watch a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch the Kardashians a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And Chloe was one. I was like, yo, because she's like the realest to me. You know? So
She is.
You gotta do.
Yeah.
You know how they had the basketball shirt for Kendall? You gotta do a football version for Kim now. It's just like Reggie Bush, Miles Austin.
Reggie, yep.
Miles Austin. You remember Miles Austin? Wow, that's right. And then it's
I don't
OBJ.
remember. Tom Brady.
Ain't no Tom Brady. Stop.
I'm kidding.
Stop.
Leave Brady out of this. No, I'm just kidding.
Yo, you know what? Listen,
At the end of the
man.
day, I don't care. That's her business. That's her prerogative.
That's her deal.
That sounds like a you problem.
Listen.
Not a me problem. So.
Listen, Linda. Listen. Y'all got my video. Listen, Linda. Y'all got that teed up? Listen, Linda. We got that Keon? But anyways, the Kardashian curse, y'all say it's real. What they say, like if an athlete dates them, they start going the other way, or anybody dates them, they go the other way. Is that what the Kardashians curse is?
I don't know. They do. I don't.
They kind of flop.
Let me get the sage. Let me get the sage
but
right
you know
there.
what? You know why I don't like. I mean, the Kardashian jokes are funny and all, but I remember they did that to Jessica Simpson with Tony Romo. They're doing it now to Sierra with Russell Wilson. I don't.
No, they not.
Yes, they are. It's all over. I don't believe in like
blame
blaming
Sierra
women
for a
for
thing.
like men's failures. I just don't.
We
think
got a
that's
lighter.
fair.
Like I'm a sage just for my brother. My brother worked his butt off, okay, to get back to this spot. You know, this is some devastating injuries that he sustained. You know, back to back to back. Think about your psyche and your mind. Listen, if it's true, you might need to rethink some things. We don't need none of no bad energy in this moment, right? I think the Baltimore Ravens got a chance to be in the Super Bowl. They're not my favorites, but they got a chance. So here we go right here. Let me get that. Boom. This ain't going to work, I don't think. This one's dead. So this one's dead. But we going to sage the environment for OBJ as well, but we can move on.
Let's be for real, okay?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I wouldn't want no bad energy around me right now.
My God. We don't.
But
even
it will
know.
be tough though.
It is
That's
a
peer
rumor.
pressure.
We don't know if it's true, and even if it is true, I don't care.
All right, here we go. We're gonna move on. Listen, this is a wild ref. I don't know if you guys seen this, Liv, but I woke up this morning and I was looking at the timeline and I saw this on SportsCenter. This referee was literally in the middle of a game on his phone. I think we didn't seen it all. I want to show y'all this video real quick. Yo.
Handling business, just a man handling some business, you know.
That sounds like my dad would have been screaming at him like that. But you know what? In all fairness, playing devil's advocate, it could have been an emergency.
Yo, you got called timeout. You the ref.
I mean, that's true. It could have been.
What you mean? Yeah, timeout.
It could have been an emergency, a family situation. It looked like it was an intense conversation. It didn't look like he was just like, shooting
Ashley,
the shit.
he's the ref.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that he was right for taking it there, but it did look like in his facial expressions like it was a serious. It didn't look like he was just like, "Hey, bro, what's up? I'm just roughing a game."
Yo,
what about
buddy,
you?
wow. Hey, if y'all saw the end, go on Twitter. You can, on SportsCenter, you'll be able to see it. But in the end, he's still on the phone. He like, ball this way. He's still pointing that way. Like, yo, you got parents saying, I'm going to take a video. I'm sending it in. I'm reporting you. People was pissed. Next time, buddy, you the ref, just call timeout. I know you're going to be questioned. People going to be looking at you like, yo, how you call timeout? I'm the ref, bruh. I got to call my wife. My wife calling me. She need the milk. I got to handle this. Keep it happy home.
What if he had like an AirPod and his hands were free? Would that have been better?
Yeah, that would have been better. That would have been better. That would have
I
been better.
can't. Tack. Traveling. Yeah. What did you say? You need me to get milk from the what? Okay, wait. All right. No. Defense. Up. Yeah, let me call you right back. Like, that would have been funny.
Liv, do you think he'll lose his job? Do you think they'll fire him? Because it's viral now.
No, I mean, what
Look at
is
his
this?
job?
Like,
He's a high school
I
ref.
mean, aren't the kids like 10?
No, that was high school. That was like high school level.
Oh, sorry. The high schoolers look young nowadays, I guess. I mean, yeah, maybe a little unprofessional. Now that it's viral, they'll probably feel like they have to fire him.
Something. All right, well,
yeah.
Ashley, I'm going to throw the show back to you, and then we're going to say, as I throw it back to you for my dog.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, listen, ending out news of the day, we're going to end on a positive note because there are things that are more than football. Listen, they may have been battling on the field, but Dak Prescott and Solomon Thomas are teammates in real life. The Cowboys and Jets player are using their unfortunate shared tragic experiences with the effects of suicide as a way of spreading awareness to help amplify mental health and crisis resources and spread the message that it's okay to not be okay. They are combining their foundations, the Faith, Fight, Finish Foundation and the defensive line, to go ahead and push these messages out there. And September is Suicide Prevention Month. And as I mentioned, they both have experiences, Dak being vocal about losing his brother, one of his brothers, to suicide, and Solomon Thomas lost his sister as well. So this is an absolutely amazing cause. We have the video of the work that they're doing. Now, obviously, you guys already know how I feel about my QB1. But, you know, outside of the game of football, I'm somebody who is constantly saying that Dak Prescott is just a really good person. He's a really great guy. He's been through a lot, but he is just somebody who just has so much light about him, just does so much good. And we had an opportunity to interview Solomon at Super Bowl. I was able to meet him for the first time, and he as well. I tease them because they kind of look alike. Don't they resemble each other, sort of like cousins?
They do. They do.
They, you know,
big jawbones.
Yeah, they kind of look alike.
Eaters.
So it's you know, I always tease them about that. But you know, this is an incredible cause, and it's an unfortunate, you know, shared experience that they have. But this is absolutely beautiful, and you know, there are things more than football.
Right, right. Just like I said earlier when we were talking about Deion Sanders, right? The XFL and USFL merging together. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. So I absolutely love this. Listen, suicide is a real thing, and what we believe is that suicide ideation is something that people struggle with their entire life. There are some people that deal with that, but there could be just a moment in your life, and we're talking about, you know, in a split decision, you are in a bad situation. So I want to just highlight that, you know what I mean, that suicide could just be a 15-minute, 20-minute bad moment, and now you have someone that's really struggling. So understand the signs and symptoms. You know, check in on your friends, your family, your loved ones. Also take care of yourself. You know, there's a huge stigma around us asking for help or saying that something's wrong. Ashley, I meditate and do yoga every day now, 5 days a week. And then I also talk to my therapist once a week, right? Very stressful situation for me, just, you know, being an entrepreneur. So I love this. You know, they're pushing the cause forward, and there's going to be a lot of people that get help because of it. So absolutely love this. I do want to do this before I throw it to Liv and get her response here. Everybody in the chat, I want to start with Christy O. All right, Christy O is an OG, one of the OG paper chasers, been rocking with us for 7 months. We do this on I Am Athlete. Obviously, this is near and dear to our heart, mental health in this conversation. Wellness is extremely important. You know, check in, 1 to 10, starting with Christy O, and then everybody else in the chat can follow. Where are you guys at mentally? 1 to 10. 1 being struggling, you know, we need to reach out and maybe send someone to your house. 10 being you're phenomenal. So where are you guys at 1 to 10?
Where are you at 1 to 10?
Oh, great question.
While the chat starts giving us their answers.
Where am I at 1 to 10?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hanging on to a 7.
Okay.
Right? Life is extremely difficult for me right now as an entrepreneur, and then also some things personally. but I have the skills and tools now to be able to cope and manage, right? Like I know now, like, all right, how do I get through this? I got to take care of myself. I'm drinking water, right? Like I'm eating the right things. I'm cutting back on the alcohol. I'm doing yoga. I'm meditating. I'm talking to my therapist. All those things matter. If you ask me that question, let's say 10 years ago, before I went to McLean and went through that outpatient program and didn't have the skills and tools, Ashley, it would probably be, I would probably say 7, but you would be like, yeah, right. He's struggling like a mug, right? But I went there and I learned those things, right? So now I'm in a position where I'm able to self-regulate. I'm in a position to be able to take care of myself.
What about you, Liv Bug? Where are you at?
I'm doing good right now. I'm doing good. I'd probably say I'm an 8. I need to be a little better about sleeping. Sleeping is really great for your mental health. And I also want to, I've seen a lot of people in the chat talking about mental health and how much that conversation means to them. I was hospitalized for suicide my sophomore year of college, actually. So this is a month for me where I do a lot of self-reflection. And it's interesting because from the outside at the time, I was a TCU showgirl. I had I had all these fun internships lined up. I had a healthy, loving family. I had all these things working in my favor. And, it really is such a prevalent issue that we don't talk about enough because I think we feel shame from having the conversation. But to see people with such a large platform, athletes specifically, make this a priority and speak on this so openly is massive, because it's a conversation that, again, feels really uncomfortable to have. But I can't tell you how many times I've been open and honest about my journey with mental health and suicide, and how many people it helps in that process of just talking about it. Simply just speaking on something that I have gone through helps people immensely. So I would say right now, same as Brandon, I have learned how to deal with it. And now I have helped my sister deal with it, who was also hospitalized recently. And so, mental health stuff runs through our family, and I think it runs through probably most families.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of whether you feel like you have a safe space to speak on it or not. And thankfully I have a family that is a very safe space for me, but not everybody has that. So if any of you in the chat need a safe space, I think you've got 3 people right here that would love to be that for you, because again, just talking about it is really important. So I have a lot of respect for these athletes that are drawing attention to a very important conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm at an 8 right now too, but one of the things that I do is I knew obviously the story that Liv just shared with everybody. I knew that already.
And I didn't, and thank you, Liv, for sharing that.
Of course.
I think that one of the things also, at least in my friend group, I know that, I have friends who've had babies, and postpartum is a big thing. And, I've also been open about my struggles with anxiety and depression throughout times of my life. And, our mental health was one of the things Liv and I bonded over. And I remember we were in Jamaica. This is a true story. We were in Jamaica, and we were in like a club or a lounge or whatever after dinner. And I think it's also really important to know the signs of people in your life when, when things are not, when their personality changes, because sometimes signs are there. So we were in this spot, and Liv, her mannerisms completely changed. She goes from like happy, and she was enjoying dinner, and she was having a fun time, and she was talkative, and we're in this spot, and she completely just becomes overwhelmed, and she leaves. And that's when she told me, her story about, her being hospitalized. But, I noticed the signs right away. And that's when we had our first, very in-depth conversation about mental health. And that's how, you learn people. So now when we go out and I see that switch in her, I'm like, okay, she just needs to kind of reset herself and things
people
like that.
Ashley are a rare breed, because not everybody is that patient, and not everybody is that aware. There was actually there was another person as a part of the trip, and their response to what I had gone through was a little bit more, I don't want to say angry, but there was a very different response. And for Ashley to be able to kind of remove herself from, hey, why aren't you dancing with us? Why aren't you whatever, to like come down to a very human level on a vacation when we're supposed to be having fun and we're supposed to be doing karaoke at the club, was massive for not only our friendship, but it just shows the type of person that Ashley is. And, yeah, it's those moments right there that now to me, Ashley is a safe person. I
Right.
know that I can be my most vulnerable self with her because of that one moment and that one conversation. And also, alcohol does not help anxiety and depression. I'm just going to throw that out there. So we were
This is
doing a
true.
whole lot of drinking, which
This
I
is
think
true.
was probably part of the problem with
Right.
that situation.
I will say this. I always wondered like how you guys clicked up and became close because, and over the last 2 years being around Ashley, you're one of those people like have a tight crew. This is what I know from being around you, tight crew. And you don't have a lot of people around you like that. Like I know a couple of your friends, and that's like these are my friends and my girls. So Liv, I always like, how did you guys click up? And the reason why I wonder that because I felt y'all special bond. Even how you intro her earlier, it's like, oh, one of my all-time besties, right? And so now I get it. Now I understand. And I would say, shit, it almost feels like y'all have this like. It's like sisters now. When you share your story, and it was the same for me. It's very scary, but what it does, it empowers you and it gives you strength to keep going because people start saying, me too, or thank you, or that helped me, or, I was going to do this, but because of that, hearing your story now, I'm going to go seek help. So it's a very powerful thing when you actually open up and share your story because you'll be surprised how many other people are struggling. The problem is, and there might be some people in this chat that don't even know they're suffering, right? Because when we talked about, you guys hit on it a little bit earlier, like, it's a lot of people struggling. 320 million Americans, maybe a few more now. A lot of people having babies in the pandemic. We were all at home, right? So more babies. So it might be at 325 living, Ashley. But there's over 100 million Americans that's suffering and dealing with something. And it doesn't even have to be a disorder. It doesn't have to be some type of diagnosis. It could just be high level of stress, just stress. So trust me, it touches us. It touches all of us sometime, some way, somehow. If it's not you, it's a loved one. So make sure you understand, like Liv and Ashley said, the signs and symptoms, and ask for help. Ask for help.
I'll tell you the story. It's an interesting story of how Liv and I met. When I was at Sports Illustrated, she was just coming up in, the sports media game with the volume and things like that. And she came across my timeline a few times, and I was taken by the work she was doing because she reminded me a lot of myself in the sense that I obviously didn't do TikTok and things like that, but she was going against the grain of what other women in sports were doing. And that's kind of what I did, when I got to sport. I didn't dress like normal, sports broadcasters. I didn't, I was doing influencer deals and modeling deals. I wasn't really just putting all my eggs in the sports basket. And she reminded me a lot of myself. And I remember growing up, and I tell this story all the time, growing up in this space for like 5 years now, I never had a female mentor. I never had a woman to sit me down and be like, this is how I did it. This was the game. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. All of my mentors, all of my opportunities have come from men. I had a very hard time finding a woman to kind of, do that for me. So I saw her and she was getting a lot of backlash at the time. TikTok was still like a new thing. A lot of brands hadn't like really invested in the direction that was going until recently. And a lot of people were, bashing her. And I just DM'd her and I said, hey, if you ever need any advice or whatever, like just hit me up, like whenever you want. She took me upon that. And that's how our friendship started, really.
And we literally met for the first time in person
in Antigua. I invited her.
Really?
True story. So
Yes.
we were communicating for months, and I was going to Antigua
That's dope.
with a bunch of my girlfriends.
And scary.
I mean,
She could have Liv could have been a stalker.
We
She could have
coulda
been
jumped her,
She
so,
could
like-
Liv could have been a what they call a serial killer.
if she was gonna be crazy, we could have jumped her. She was outnumbered. But like, no, but she, I just
love
saw
it.
that she was struggling to, to connect, in the space, whatever. So I was like, hey, we're going to Antigua for my birthday.
Right.
If you, have time, pull up, whatever. And from there, we just clicked, and it's been ever since.
So question for you guys. Did you guys talk last night about wearing the same color on the show?
We did not.
No.
Okay.
This happens a lot, though.
We have done this more than once.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
We have done this more than once. When we host together, we've shown up and we look very, very similar many, many times. But
It's
yeah,
weird.
since that first Antigua trip, we've now been to Antigua, Jamaica, and Cabo together.
And
Yes.
and you're not a serial killer.
She's
I'm
not a
not.
serial killer.
I am.
I love
She's
it.
not. She's
No,
not.
y'all are dope. Liv, when you blow up, don't forget about us small people.
Oh,
Hey,
please.
hey, Liv, you text me back now. You text me back now. We Ashley, you know this.
I
right?
know. I
Like
screened
people
your
get
calls
big.
originally.
No, but we
and
good.
I'm also just a really
depends
bad
on the day.
texter.
Ashley just
Not
want to
an
text me.
excuse,
She don't want to
but-
FaceTime me. She don't want to talk. Me and Ashley just text. That's
Because
how
you
I
don't know
talk
who I'm with, where I'm doing, where I'm at. You can just FaceTime me randomly.
Twin. Who you dating, twin? Because
Nope.
you said something yesterday. You said
I'm
something
not
yesterday.
dating anybody.
You said something yesterday, and I said, and you were like, "Well, you don't know if I'm with somebody." I was like,
You don't know if I'm with
that's
somebody.
news to me.
Why is it got to be?
Who are you dating? Are you dating?
Back to some football, guys.
I gotta go to the bathroom. Hold on.
Moving on.
We are moving. We're gonna wait for your bathroom break.
go.
Do you want to? Okay, you want me to tee this up? Okay, but you're not gonna hear the story.
I'm gonna leave the door open.
Oh my God! Please don't leave the door open. Brandon is going to pee. Wash your hands, Brandon. All right, listen, we're going to get back to some football, but listen, I want to go ahead and send love to everybody in the chat who went ahead and gave us their 1 through 10 scales. If you guys ever need any resources, mental health resources, you're at a loss for having to pull yourself out of, whatever it is that you're feeling, please go ahead and reach out. This, like I said, is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. When it comes to the mental health game, there's no better person with resources and just anything that you can need to go ahead and figure out what's going on in your mind and your body than Brandon. So do not be afraid to DM I Am Athlete, paper route, add us on Twitter, whatever the case may be. However we can go ahead and help, we are here to help. You don't got to go through this alone, and it's okay to not be okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive into some football now. The NFL is making a major accusation against the NFLPA. The NFL right now is filing a grievance against the NFLPA, alleging that they are advising running backs to fake injuries as a negotiation tactic to get more money. Now, in July, while on the Ross Tucker podcast, NFLPA President J.C. Tretter said this, quote, "You need to try to be creative. You need to try to create as much leverage as you possibly can. And that's a tough thing to do with the franchise tag or being restricted in movement. It decreases your leverage. But then you have to find creative ways to build leverage elsewhere." Here's the video with the full quote.
You need to try to create as much leverage as you possibly can in any situation. And that's the tough thing with the franchise tag or being restricted in movement, is it decreases your leverage, but then you have to find creative ways to build leverage elsewhere. And I think we've seen issues. Now, I don't think anybody would ever say they were fake injuries, but we've seen players who didn't want to be where they currently are, have injuries that made them unable to practice and play. But you're not able to get fined and you're not able to be punished for not reporting. So there are issues like that. I don't think I'm allowed to ever recommend that, but or at least publicly. But I think each player needs to find a way to build up leverage to try to get a fair deal. And that's really what all these guys are looking for, is to be compensated fairly.
Now, this very podcast is the evidence that the NFL is using, or used rather, to file their grievance last week against the NFLPA. This is a major accusation coming towards the NFL. I mean, Brandon, I'll let you kick things off. Does the NFL have any proof in this situation?
I'll say this. This is who we got representing us. Dog, you can't go out there and say that. Everybody know what it is. Listen, he put his foot in his mouth. He shouldn't have said that. Now, he has our player association, in a battle, right? And now we're going to take a lot of our money that we invest, into our association, and now we got to pay more legal fees. It's okay. It's okay. We all make mistakes. All right. Look, Deflategate, Spygate, Margate, all them gates. This is the business of the NFL. They're doing it, colluding. The players are doing it. It's all about gaining leverage. This is a nasty, nasty, nasty business. It's very toxic. That's why you see a lot of players, a lot of coaches, even owners struggling. Hell, Dan Snyder might be struggling right now. You talk about being in this world of the NFL and everything that comes with it, the good, the bad, and then when it's taken away, it's an interesting time. It's an interesting transition. I'm saying all of that because the business around it every single day. $10 billion industry. Athletes now making $55 million a year. This is what they do, Ashley. This is what happens. So basically what I'm saying is that he put his foot in his mouth, but this is definitely something that we do as players. But on the other side, that's why I said the Deflate Gate, Spy Gates, all those other gates, owners doing this, all the scandals, it's a very nasty business. So, you point the finger, there's 3 pointing right back at you.
I mean, Liv, let's I don't know how you would fake an injury that well. There are running backs who have had legitimate injuries, and those injuries have been confirmed by doctors that the NFL and teams employ. So if you're saying that, running backs have been encouraged to fake injuries, you would say then in order for them to successfully do that, there would have to be collusion down the line. There would have to be a chain of collusion. And if you're not saying that, then I don't really know how this holds any water. I mean, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that it's kind of tough with the protocols that are in place for injuries. I feel like it would be really tough to fake an injury that would have you sitting out for a substantially large amount of time. But I think what this is showing to me is how unfortunate the running back market has become, that they feel the need to have this type of leverage in order to be successful in the business side of the NFL. So I think it's unfortunate, and I kind of initially felt like where there's smoke, there's fire. So it makes you wonder what kind of truth is being told in this statement. But again, like you said, the protocols with injuries, it makes it hard for me to believe that an athlete could really truly fake an injury at this level and get away with it.
Well, listen, there's a system in place. There's an institution, right? And so as a player, when you walk into the NFL, you have veterans, and these veterans are extremely savvy, and they give you game, right? It's like going to prison, right? You go to prison, Ashley looked at me like, where the hell are you going?
Okay,
you go to prison, and it's like, how the hell did this inmate get a damn cell phone in? How the hell, like my brother's in prison right now. And he be talking, yeah, bro, I made tacos on the yard. Nigga, you made tacos. Where you get taco meat from? Like, what? He's sending me paintings. He's sending me all kinds of, like, bro, how did you do it? They're the smartest people in the world.
Can I say on that note real quick before you finish your story? I don't know if you've ever seen this, like you're on TikTok and the inmates are on TikTok Live.
Right, how?
Yeah, how are y'all doing
TikTok
this?
dances.
How? I might get my brother to I shouldn't have said that.
But they're doing TikTok Lives, and it's
Bijan?
like they're speed dating.
I
And
know.
like there's women hopping
Not
in the
you
lives.
exposing your brother.
I know, bruh.
It's
Make sure you
crazy.
get anything out your cell, because they might be sending the people to your
Wow,
cell.
you a whole
Get that
snitch.
out. Get that out. I
Okay.
know that was bad.
That's crazy.
That was in the past. In the past. God damn, why did I say that? But that's
Jesus.
But here's the situation, though, right? The reason why I said that, Liv, because I wanted to respond to you here about how does players get around it. So when I walk in, I had a vet look at me and say, hey, look, all you got to do is say you're back. You can't MRI a bad back.
This is true.
Right? Now, if you have like an L4, L5, the dinner gist or something like this or something like that, yeah, that's cool. But you back. So when you hear a player, that's in it, some type of dispute, back, right?
That's
so
why everyone was so pissed off and irritated with Ben Simmons for a minute there.
Yeah, that's why because I was like, he using back.
But then, of course, he did,
get a procedure.
have a procedure. Yeah. So
yeah,
it was okay.
but here's the
But
deal.
for a while, yeah.
Yep. But Liv, here's the deal. If you MRI anything in an athlete, back, ankle, knee, I got a bone spur. There's always something. And that's what doctors always say, yeah, go get a surgery. But then you have the gurus around, some of the best. They're like, no, we can't cut you, because when you cut the body and change the anatomy, it just does a lot to the body, and you go into compensation, and it just throws everything off. So you're trying not to have surgery. But if you actually MRI, X-ray an athlete's body, you can say, this person needs 10 surgeries. So, and that's also Gym Pop too, just regular people. So
This has been Prison 101. Taught to you by Brandon Marshall. Moving on. You are a whole op for that story, by the way, but I digress.
I know.
Moving on, we're going to
Clear out your cell, son.
They will come shake his cell. Shake the room real quick. We're going to move on to some Carolina Panthers football because there was an interesting report that came out via ESPN yesterday that Bryce Young may be too small to play. According to ESPN, the Panthers can't use the quarterback sneak play in their playbook because Bryce Young, quote, isn't big enough to make that work. In the article, it says that the biggest hole in the game plan for the Panthers is their inability to use the QB sneak in 3rd and short situations because of Bryce Young's 5'10", 204-pound frame. It says, quote, the Panthers can't use the quarterback sneak because Young, 5'10", 204, just isn't big enough to make that work. I mean, that's not very nice, Brandon.
What are we talking about here? What is this? Who wrote this? Why did he waste his time? Why are we wasting our time right now talking about this? I'm sorry, Ashley, but what?
Yeah, this is not very nice.
It's not even nice. Like this, it has nothing to do with the game. Like, please, Tom Brady is when we think about the quarterback sneak, there's only one quarterback that we say, yo, like this dude mastered the quarterback sneak, and it was Tom Brady. Other than that, there's no other quarterback like, oh, he dominates the quarterback sneak. Oh well, even if this is true where he can't pick it up, give it to your fullback, give it to your running back, run pitch toss, crack toss, run different plays. So this is like whoever reported this needs.
Right.
You know, you went to school for this. Can y'all like take back y'all journalist badge?
A retraction?
Yeah, can y'all do that?
I mean, it's just interesting to me. I mean, we've seen quote-unquote small quarterbacks be able to do quarterback sneak before.
Yeah.
When Kyler Murray was healthy, he did quarterback sneaks.
Well, I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it because it's not a big deal. Like, if the quarterback can't do a quarterback, I'm not paying you to do a quarterback sneak.
And how often do you actually have to quarterback sneak that this is like a big deal that you can't put it in your playbook? Like, you quarterback sneak maybe once, twice in a game after that. Like, this is not a go-to play. You know what I mean?
This was just an unnecessary comment that did not need to be made and or published, for that matter.
Yeah, it
just doesn't seem necessary.
Liv, did you go to journalism school?
I did. I graduated with a journalism major and a criminal justice minor.
Okay, well, y'all committee, whatever y'all got going on over there, you and Ashley need to call this dude and take back his badge. What y'all get? Y'all get like a certificate or something?
A diploma?
Whatever it is y'all get.
All right. Well,
Brandon, what is going on with you today?
Yeah, as you can see, Brandon went to school for football. He doesn't know about diplomas.
Oh my God.
He doesn't know what a diploma is.
No, but y'all get something, though. I need to call y'all boy and kick y'all boy out the club because this is absolutely ridiculous and terrible reporting. And yes, I do have my diploma. I do.
Well,
Liv, I'm like this all the time, Liv. See, Liv, this is Liv's, third, fourth time on the show? Tell her, Ash, I be obnoxious. I'm obnoxious. My 8th grade year progress report, I came home. My mom said, boy, sit down. I said, what's wrong, Mom? She said, the only thing they wrote on this page is obnoxious. What is wrong with you?
You know,
that was the first time I learned that word. The first time I heard that word was in 8th grade. Obnoxious.
If you look at all my report cards from like elementary school, mine say, Ashley is brilliant. She's very smart, but she's very bossy. Every single one.
Oh, yeah.
Mine was always
so bossy.
No matter who my teachers I would talk with so-and-so every day. So then they'd move me across the room and then I would talk with that person. So mine was always, we can't find a place for her to sit in the classroom without her finding a new friend and talking.
So you were Chatty Patty?
Yes. 100%.
Mine was bossy.
It's so funny because, like, if you think about it, bossy, obnoxious, Chatty Patty, like, that makes sense.
My mom used to, I remember it was either was it 4th grade or 3rd grade? No, it was probably 4th grade or 5th grade. My mom, or was it 2nd? I don't know, some year in elementary school. And on one of my report cards, the teacher listed that I was arguing with her about the answer that she was saying was correct. And I was saying, that's not the right answer because the way that I did it. And my mom on the report card, she read to me, she's like, Ashley, were you arguing with your teacher? And I said, I wasn't arguing. I was telling her that she was wrong in the way that she did the equation because the way that I did it, I got the same answer. Like, I was going back and forth with the teacher.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so
well, what I love about this conversation is, look, you can't take yourself too serious. And sometimes there's a lot of people out there that do that and they just can't. They can't be real with themselves. And Ash, I did hear you as I went to the bathroom and I did wash my hands, talk about the mental health stuff, people who may need help. BetterHelp.com is a platform for those who may be in need, because I saw a few 4s there. I saw some 3s there. We're going to transition back into sports, but BetterHelp is a platform that's virtual. I think there's thousands of professionals that can help you, and it's easy to figure out what's the best fit. And that's also one of the challenges in the space, because we think that, you're going to sit down with someone and that's going to be the fit. No, it takes time. It's just like dating almost, right? So don't get discouraged when you sit down with a therapist and it just doesn't feel right. Go with your gut, right? But also understand that you're going to be challenged and you need to be ready for help. Hopefully we got to bring BetterHelp back as a partner. We'll do that, because one of the things I want to do here is make sure our paper chasers, the people who may need help, that we can do that, and it's at our cost.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and transition back to football like you said, but we're going to stay with the Carolina Panthers, because the Panthers will now have to keep pounding without number 7. Linebacker Shaq Thompson is out for the season. Thompson underwent surgery for a fractured fibula yesterday morning, and head coach Frank Reich delivered the significant news to the media later on that day. Now, the linebacker fractured his fibula during the team's 20-17 loss to the Saints on Monday night. An absolutely just brutal loss for the Carolina Panthers, one of their leaders, one of their captains. He did go ahead and have this to say: minor setback, major comeback. Don't count me out. Real Panthers fans, I love y'all. I love this city. I truly felt the love in that stadium. To my teammates, I love y'all boys, and y'all know I'll be here for you. I'll be here for y'all every step. # keep pounding. Right. Yeah. I mean, big loss for the Carolina Panthers.
Huge loss, Ashley. I went back to my notes from Monday Night Football, right? And I had 3 takeaways. One was Bryce Young can play. So all that slander about Bryce Young, get out of here. I really like the position he's in with Coach McCown and Coach Frank. This is really going to help his maturation process. The other thing that I had, just as an asterisk, it wasn't one of my major takeaways, but I had an asterisk here of like this defense. This defense looked phenomenal to me. And not phenomenal, they look like a defense that could have this team in position. They can win a few games. So if the offense is able to catch up, then they could potentially find themselves battling out in a division. You do have the Tampa Bay Bucks at 2-0, the Saints at 2-0, the Falcons at 2-0. They're sitting at 0-2. But I like this team down the stretch if they're able to bring it together. So now losing him is just a devastating blow, Liv.
Yeah, no, it is. And I mean, I think the one thing working in the Panthers' favor is their relatively easier division here. So I think that's definitely going to help them. And I don't know off the top of my head the strength of their schedule, but I do know that they're in a relatively easy division. So I wouldn't panic too much if you're a Panthers fan. I don't think that all hope is lost, but definitely a devastating loss nonetheless, and very impactful one. They've just got to come up with a better game plan for their apparently too small QB and missing one of their leaders. But right. I really am not worried about the Panthers. I think that they'll be okay.
You were high on the Panthers.
I had them as a
right?
wild card.
You had them as a wild card?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Liv, we did 2 early predictions. We're not really going to hold ourselves to it, like the two early predictions that we did, but Ash had them. She was high on them. And look, I would say this. Watching Monday Night Football, I know they're sitting at 0-2, but I was looking at you like you was wild when you picked them. But I'm like, yo, this team actually got.
They were competitive.
They were competitive.
If they score points, because the defense, I'm not worrying about the defense. That's why this is a big deal. But the offense, if they score points, yo, they could be in any game.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were close in that one.
Right.
So, sending love, light, and positivity to Shaq Thompson for a healthy and quick recovery. We're going to move on to another injury or lack thereof. Steelers Nation, you guys can take a deep breath. After Monday night's battle against the Cleveland Browns, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin told reporters that DB Minkah Fitzpatrick was being evaluated at a local hospital for a chest injury. Now, good news for the black and yellow, because Fitzpatrick was released from the hospital Monday night after undergoing precautionary scans for what is believed to be a chest contusion. Now, the scans were negative, so there is optimism that Fitzpatrick will be fine moving forward. Now, Now, this is also in the news because if you remember, the Fitzpatrick hit on Nick Chubb, which ultimately ended his season, has been debated back and forth all over NFL Twitter on whether it was clean or dirty. We'll dive into that in a second, but first I want to go ahead and share this news. The Browns, as expected, have officially placed Nick Chubb on IR, and he is ruled out for the rest of the season. And with that, they announced that they have officially re-signed running back Kareem Hunt on a 1-year deal. So he is now running back number 1 for the Cleveland Browns. But I mean, the Fitzpatrick news, good if you're a Steelers fan. The Kareem Hunt news, good if you're a Browns fan. Some movement there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the NFL is a war around attrition, right? Attrition, you got to stay healthy. And, once you strap it up, probably 80-90% of your guys are dealing with something. And so, you need to be able to be a good team, put together a roster. You need to have the ball bounce your way here and there. But the biggest thing is injury, right? Like, it's inevitable for guys to go down. And it's, the guys that you mentioned, Ashley, these are guys that are like staples on their team, on their defense, on their offense. They're needed. So,
and Ford will be running back number 1. Kareem Hunt would be running back number 2 in this situation.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad. And again, sorry, Coach Tomlin, Liv. I said that this was going to be the game that, the Steelers go the wrong way, and the Cleveland Browns ascend to contenders, and it didn't happen.
Well,
I bet the Steelers, Brandon. You should have tailed me.
See it again. You taught me. What'd you say? Tell you?
You should have tailed me. I bet the Steelers to cover and to win outright.
Liv, I just didn't believe like that.
Mike Tomlin was not going to get caught with his pants down 2 weeks in a row in a divisional game at
This is
home.
true.
What? See, this is why I went as hard on what was it last Thursday? Whenever we talked about this, or Monday morning, it's like look at your energy around Coach Tomlin. Your energy around but think about it. He's been average the last 7-8 years.
He's had winning seasons with below average rosters. How can you call that average? He has done a lot with very little.
That's the point.
And you agree with that?
That's the point. Like him, the general manager, they're all involved in building out this roster. It all flows to them. Think about it. Like you.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, let's see if you guys can agree with this. So we're going to go back to the Fitzpatrick news. Like I said, NFL Twitter has been debating on whether or not Fitzpatrick's hit on Nick Chubb, like I said, which ultimately ended his season, was clean or dirty. And yesterday, Nate Burleson and Ryan Clark went back and forth on Twitter about this very thing. So this was Ryan Clark's first tweet. He said, if a defender goes high and a player gets concussed, he's dirty. If a defender goes low and a player gets a lower extremity injury, he's dirty. Where can he hit a runner then, y'all? I mean, sheesh. The growing softness of this game and the sensitivity of those who watch it saddens me. Before I move on to Nate Burleson's response, Brandon, any response to that?
Actually, I don't really want to vibe with Ryan Clark right now, but look, he right. And that pains me to say that Ryan Clark is right, but he's right.
All right, well, this was Nate Burleson's response. I'll go ahead and read that. He said, RC, Ryan Clark, I love you like a brother, so I mean this with all due respect. You are wrong on this one, fam. The reason there is outrage about that hit on Chubb isn't about the game or its fans getting soft. The problem is Minka, who is a veteran DB, torpedoed at Chubb's leg while he was already being taken down by a defender. If your response is he didn't know Chubb was already being tackled, well, pick your head up. If he didn't want to go high, well, aim for multiple areas above the knee and below the head, like hip, ribs, or shoulder. Brandon, your response to that?
I love Nate B, and I'm always riding with my dog, and he's right. Ashley, I'll be honest with you, I did not watch the video, right? So I'm on YouTube right now. I know, that's why I didn't want to do it. And I'm not one of those guys that cringe.
It, like as I'm sitting here and we're talking about it, I can feel a discomfort in my leg. It was very. Right. I mean, you know how these networks are. They replay every injury known to man. So the fact that they didn't is all you need to know.
And I can't really
find. It was pretty gruesome.
Right. Let me see. I want to see it. They're not even showing it. Like I'm on. He's definitely in pain. With Nate Burleson described, Ashley, absolutely right to me that like it's not a illegal play, but it's borderline dirty to me, right? And here's why. Like if the guy is going down, if the guy already has one or two guys on him and he's clearly not going anywhere, then you just come hit his knee. I'm just gonna say it is dirty. And it's dirty because there's a fraternity, right? And look, at the end of the day, we're competing, but don't take food off of each other's table, right? I just don't subscribe to that. You didn't have to do that, right? Because now your brother can't play for the rest of the year, and now he's probably going to miss out on maybe another $10 million potentially, right? Because he ain't going to get another big contract. You already see how they're doing a running back. So what Nate Burleson described, I said borderline dirty. I'm going to it's dirty.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and read the remaining.
And that's not Fitzpatrick. Sorry, because I want to be clear. He's an amazing dude. He's not a dirty player. So I don't know what was going on there, but I don't want to see this.
I'm going to read the remaining 2 tweets. It's on Twitter if you want to go look at the injury in real.
What I type in? I don't know.
Just
nothing.
write Nick Chubb.
No. Mean social media.
Or Minka Fitzpatrick, either or. Can we throw up Ryan Clark's third tweet here in response to Nate Burleson? He said, "Respect, brother, I disagree. And being in that position as a defender is something people who can't fully understand. It is not Minka's job to protect other players. It is his job to get them on the ground and defend every blade of grass. I'm extremely sad that such a good human and amazing player was severely injured." And then to end things off, Nate Burleson had this to say. He said, quote, Nah. We all play to defend each blade of grass, fight for every yard, and leave it all on the line for your team. But nothing comes before the health of your fellow brother, whether he's on the same squad as you or not. As a rookie, I was taught to cut cornerbacks on a run play, approach as if I'm going to block, and then launch myself at the legs of the defender guarding me, which will almost guarantee he goes down. RC, as a young player, I didn't know any better, so I did. But as I got older, I realized I could easily blow out a guy's knee, so I stopped. I'd rather risk getting manhandled by a bigger, stronger corner than throwing my body at him unsuspectedly.
Ashley, I need a cuss word that I can use that won't offend too many people.
Bull junk?
No, I can't say bull junk. I want to use. I was going BITCH. The P word. Like just help me out here. Because this is what I would say. The beginning of my career, I was vicious. Like I would cut the crackback blocks, taking dudes' helmets off, decleating dudes, all of that. And I was playing in Buffalo, and the tight end, forget his name, but he was at the University of Miami, but he was on the Buffalo side. On the punt return, Dominique Hickson came down, hit him. They collided, and now he was paralyzed. So this is like year 3 for me, year 2, year 3. In that moment, I said, yo, this don't make any sense, right? Like, I just need to do my job. So what did that look like after that? Playing in Indy, you have their middle linebacker coming to hit my running back. I had a kill shot on him, and all I did, I said, yeah. He looked at me, I looked at him. We thudded up. Thud means just like, let's make it look good, right? This is some of the language we use. So I was like, boom, we hit. He's like, thank you. I got my job done. I didn't hurt him. I ain't decleat him. I ain't concuss him. My running back went right off my butt and kept going for 20 more yards. So I changed the way I played there because I wanted to protect myself and also my brother, okay? And so this hit right here, like Mika Fitzpatrick, he plays the game intense. He plays it hard, but he's always played it clean. But what Ryan is saying, man, and it's like, and that's, you have the word for me, the curse word I can use. Did you even think about it for me?
I can't. I mean,
because I really want to like.
You could call him a sissy.
A cupcake. That's Kitty's favorite thing.
And this is why, like, I need see. Remember, I said the Ryan Clark, the first tweet. There's real beef. So the first tweet, like, I had to agree with the guy because it was right. But then the second tweet reminded me why I don't like the guy. You're a fuckboy. I'm sorry, you didn't give me the word.
He said screw whatever.
You didn't give me the word,
yeah.
Ashley. I'm trying to, but no, seriously. And then people look at me and look how intense I am. Oh, Brandon's the problem. The Brandon's the problem. No, man, you a fuckboy that say go out there and you want to hurt somebody. Come on, man. Come on, you serious? You seeing these dudes at 55, 60, 70 years old walking around, can't even talk. Look at I don't rock with Brett Favre. Look at his last interview. Look how this man talking. And you sitting around looking like a clown. You thinking football is all this and that. Man, yeah, it was a good game. Oh, I got some highlights, big hits, all of that. Bro, you got people dying, bro. You got dudes really struggling cognitively, mentally, physically. Sitting here about a game. You institutionalize. You're lost. You're lost, bro. You're lost. You don't do that to your brother, dog. This is a game. We have fun. It changed a lot of our lives, but we don't go out there try to do damage to each other. If it happens, it happens. But that play right there, that was a nasty play. It wasn't a dirty play, but I just didn't like that response. Sorry, Ashley. I asked for a word.
They said Broncos B. Marsh just came back.
That B. Marsh don't go no. Like YouTube. Thank God for YouTube, right? What Diddy was just on the Breakfast Club. Diddy was like, yeah, you go to CNN, ESPN, you say the wrong thing, you get banned. Well, we own our own IP over here. We might not be able to monetize that clip, right? Because I said,
but
we can bleep it.
This is a serious question for me because I have never played football, so I would not know what it's like. There's a layer of obviously with targeting calls. I think there's a layer of targeting calls that are some are momentum based, and then there's some that look very malicious and look personal. And how do you? Okay, had Nick Chubb not gotten a knee injury, would we be talking about the tackle?
Yeah, because you don't do that. Think about it. Think about it.
How many times do people do people tackle and it's dirty and we don't talk about it because there wasn't an injury in as a result of the play? You know what I mean?
Right, but it's clear. Hold on, think about it. You're right. And this is why I agree with what he said initially. The defenders are in a tough spot. Right. I can't go high because it's targeting, get a hit. I can hit their head, helmet to helmet. Now I'm fine, 45, 50,000. Tough spot. But also we know what? Lower extremity injuries put our guys out for the year, maybe in careers, and now our guys can't go and put food on the table. And so we see guys struggling. So if on the other side, if I'm a wide receiver, I'm a wide receiver. Ryan Clark's coming down, and I go to crack him, and I go low. They get mad. Why? Because bro, why are you going after my knee? This is my money makers. Why are you doing that? So there's an unwritten rule in football. It's going low can almost come off as a dirty play. Right. No, and the reason why this is a dirty play, not dirty play, but this is a situation, and go back to what Nate Burleson said, the reason why this is one of those ones is because there was already somebody on top of him.
Right. No, totally. And this is, again, I'm more asking from the perspective of, because I do think that the more that because I think that in the world of football, calling a play a dirty play is it's a big statement, right? Because now you might be associated with playing a dirty game, and that maybe wasn't your intention, but that's how it was perceived to the public. And so I just worry that the defenses are going to be defenders are going to become scared to play the game because they don't want to be viewed as a dirty player. They don't want to have because sometimes, again, how much of those tackles are momentum based? I'm genuinely asking because I've never been in that position. Now with the Nick Chubb one specifically, you nailed it, that there was somebody already taking him down. He hit below the knee. There's all those things, but I do think that I have seen defenders get either a targeting call or have what looks like a dirty play, but it really was a momentum. Couldn't think about all these things in that moment, and just kind of a unfortunate thing. So again, I think that's where it's tough, and I don't want defenders to become scared to play.
Hey, listen, what's in the heart comes out, right? And that's why I use the word and sorry, I'm blaming y'all. But I'm I needed a word. That was the best. I needed a word. That's the best I could do. But that's why I feel the way I feel, and why I responded to his Ryan Clark's second tweet that way, because, nah, bro, I just don't subscribe to that. Like I played the game the same way Ryan Clark played the game, right? But then there was something in me seeing my brother laying on the ground, paralyzed, and I said I can still get my job done and not do that. And then there's moments if they're looking, it's mano y mano. But if they're not looking, I ain't doing that crackback stuff. It's best for me too. I'm concussed. My shoulder's all messed up. Well, who am I going to be to Z, Ziggy, and Zoe when I'm 50, 55? So that's why I'm just subscribe to that. But Liv, you are absolutely right. And it's a tough position to be in as a defender. Right. And that's why I agree with the his first tweet. Is because you're right. If you can't go high, you can't go low. Now you have them playing timid, and now they're in position to receive more injuries or more damage, right? So it's something that we definitely need to correct. But in this moment, in this case, on this play, he had a defender on him, and going low is borderline, right? But I'm not calling him a dirty player because this is a awesome guy. He's an awesome gentleman, a fierce competitor, and he plays the game the right way.
Listen,
I think he should have stopped after the first tweet, and then it would have been a.
Did I go too far?
By him.
You're fine. No. Listen, we're not going to end the show just yet, but we are going to end the audio portion of the show because we do have 2 more topics that we want to hit. So if you are listening on Sirius XM, Faction Talk,
I got to do yoga.
Yoga's going to have to wait.
Okay.
Dang. If you are listening on Sirius XM Faction Talk 103, thank you so much for joining us on this Hump Day edition of Paper Route. Brandon's going to sage himself, get him back to center. Right. Again, thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back on Thursday. Right. And if you have some time, check us out on YouTube, the I Am Athlete page, if you want to see all the shenanigans that actually happen to what you are listening to. But we will see you tomorrow. Bye. All right, guys. So back to the visual portion. You good? You need a second to
I need it. I need to go to yoga. You talking about we got 2 more topics.
We got 2 more topics, Brandon.
I actually think Brandon could really use some namaste right now.
I'm doing it.
I think we should get him out of here and get him to
You're going to have to namaste. You're going to have to wait for your namaste. Okay?
Liv, you see why I do yoga every day and meditate? Listen. You see that? What they said? The Denver B. Marsh came out?
Denver B. Marsh.
It's always there.
Someone called you, somebody called you MWA, Marshall with attitude.
Yo, listen, it's just like my agent used to tell me, it's like, yo, you just need to learn how to be diplomatic, and I just can't. It's like, you know what I mean? Like that's how I really feel, bro. Like, think about it. That's my heart. My heart, like seeing, a dude hurting, right? In that way, I don't care about no ankle, I don't care about certain things. But then there's certain injuries too where it's like, yo, this dude may not be able to take care of his family. Like, he gonna have to go to Wall Street or some shit, right? And that's devastating, especially when there's things that we can control. So, all right, I'm gonna namaste. I'm gonna let it go.
Listen, 173. That's the number. What is that? 173, because the Modern Era Hall of Fame nominees are here. 9 players in their first year of eligibility are among the list of 173 modern era nominees for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2024. Now, the roster of nominees consists of 94 offensive players, 62 defensive players, and 17 special teams players. Now, the list of modern era nominees will be reduced down to 25 semifinalists in November. Now, the rules are players must have last played at least 5 full seasons ago to be eligible for a nomination. Therefore, any individual who last played in 2018 is eligible for the first time in 2024. So we have wide receiver Jordy Nelson, we have tight end Antonio Gates, running back Jamal Charles, offensive line TJ Yang, offensive line Josh Sitton, offensive line Max Unger, edge Julius Peppers is also on this list. But somebody else is on this list, and that is wide receiver Brandon Marshall, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We have Chicago Brandon Marshall. We have Jets Brandon Marshall. Do we have Denver? We got Seattle Brandon Marshall.
A cup of tea there.
We got Denver Brandon Marshall.
That's that one. Don't let him out. Don't let him out. Look at the muscles popping.
We got Dolphins Brandon Marshall.
That was the Zen B. Marsh right there.
We got Giants Brandon Marshall.
Wash B. Marsh.
We got Chicago Brandon Marshall.
Went from beast to monster. That's beautiful.
Listen, I mean, Brandon, what does this feel like? Listen,
Yeah.
173 modern era Hall of Fame nominees. There's a lot of incredible names in there. I mean, Jordy Nelson, Antonio Gates, Julius Peppers, who I'm a huge fan of. I mean, this is huge. This is a big deal.
I'll be honest with you. You know, it's something about like your peers showing love, right? So this isn't that, but like it feels good for you to highlight it, and you guys put this in a running show. So like that's what's making me smile. You know, I love that. You know what I'm saying? 13 years in the NFL, I gave it my all. You know, it definitely was a goal for me. You know, I think I left a little bit of meat on the bone there. But I'm not one of those guys I'm not one of those guys that like think about this or even want it. Like, cause the reality for me, it's going to probably take 15, 20 years, for me to actually, you know, get inducted. That's what I believe. Do I think my numbers are up there and it could happen now? It could happen in a couple years. Absolutely. But when you just look at the system, right, it's going to take some time. Like if you go to the other graphic, look at the wide receiver list, you got some monsters on that list. So if we can go to the other graphic, you got Andre Johnson, you got Reggie Wayne, you got my mentor from Denver, Rod Smith. There's some real guys out there.
Oh, we're talking about the light blue with all the names
the
on there.
other
That's
graphic.
the graphic he's referring to.
Yep.
Yes.
So yeah, there you go. And I can't read it there, but look at the other receivers before me. There we go, right there, right? Anquan Bolden, Jimmy Smith, Steve Smith, Hines Ward, Reggie Wayne. So, you know, they make wide receivers wait. It's backed up there, and so it's an honor, it's a privilege to be just in this conversation. And we'll see what happens.
You're one of one. You're one of one.
I appreciate
you've
that.
earned
The
it,
chat
for sure.
is congratulating you, saying
so
first
much.
ballot. They don't care what anyone says. They say Jay Cutler was your best quarterback.
Had 17 of them. No, this is beautiful, you know, but let's make sure Andre Johnson deserves to get in ASAP. Devin Hester should have been first ballot. I believe Asante Samuels, when you look at his numbers and how many times he turned the ball over, he should be in there. So the system is where a lot of guys push back and don't really understand it. I think it's time for us to have that conversation of what do we need to do to change this up. And then you have people on the other end of the spectrum like Deion Sanders saying like we need another layer in the hall. Maybe that's it, but you know we definitely need some changes there.
Really good question quickly from DJ Train Walker, who says, hearing this basically 5 full seasons removed from the game, how does that feel and how do you find the love of day to day?
So, like, if you guys are following me, I wasn't on Instagram for a while. I just got back on after a couple of months. And so now, like, I'll be posting stuff. But, you know, what I'm posting a lot of outside of yesterday is a lot of, like, my, you know, like my yoga, my wellness journey, my healing journey. I'm rewiring my brain, right? Like my entire life, I just been Brandon Marshall, the football player. And I've always was surrounded by guys in the locker room. And then, you know, in 2014, I spent my entire offseason at Harvard building out my case study on transition. And what came out of that was content and commerce. So everything that I'm doing now is what came out of all the work we did in that offseason. So shout out to Professor Anita Elberse and everybody in the class that worked on that, those cases. So once I retired or got kicked out of the league, not kicked out of the league, but I got cut, right? Some people retire, some people get cut, some people, you know, move on due to injury. For me, I wanted to play another year or two. That's why I said there was more meat on the bone because, like, I wanted to retire with 100 touchdowns. I wanted to retire with 1,000 catches. I'm 30 catches away. So I was just, like, literally a half a season away from, you know, hitting all my individual goals. But I had my plan in place already. You know, so I moved in and morphed into Brandon Marshall, the business guy. And so now, you know, that's a good question. You know, it's like, who am I? Take away football, take away, you know, business. And so, like, I'm really on this interesting journey right now, and I'm doing a lot of work. And hopefully we don't tame too much of the beast.
Well, to celebrate,
I don't want to be like just like a little lamb.
To celebrate this news, Pamela sent a $50 super chat.
Oh wow!
To the channel. to celebrate your Hall of Fame modern era nominee. Isn't that sweet?
Pamela, I love you, and I'm grateful for you. That's another thing we're working on. Great gratitude. So I'm thankful for you. That $50 is going to go a long way. We'll take it, and we'll take care of the team. Maybe get some coffee, like Ashley like to say.
Matcha.
That's what we're going to do. BC and Woo, I don't know. I can say this. They talked about this. They might want to get a little smoky smoke with the $50.
All right, listen.
A little 50 pack.
That went from sweet to sour real quick.
I'm just saying, what did the team want? Like, it's going to $50. You could get a little smoky smoke. You get a little coffee.
Well, listen. Before we close out the show for today, we're going to take a look at Pepsi Zero Sugar NFL Rookie of the Week nominees for Week 2. And we want to remind you to go ahead and place your vote at NFL.com/voting/rookies. Now, here are the nominees.
Whoop, whoop.
2. Yo, rookie.
Yo, rookie.
We had, let's go ahead and play that graphic to let that simmer for a second. So here are the Week 2 nominees. We had Houston quarterback C.J. Stroud. Sorry, I always say Stroud.
I had him on the Panthers last.
You did.
Yes. 2 days ago.
We also have Atlanta running back Bijan Robinson. Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua.
Love him.
We have Tampa Bay safety Christian Izine. We have Cincinnati wide receiver Charlie Jones. Denver wide receiver Marvin Mims Jr. Now, yesterday we had the pleasure of speaking to, there are your nominees right there. So we have, like I said, C.J. Stroud. Stroud. I keep saying Stroud. CJ Stroud, Bijan Robinson, Puka Nacua, Christian Izine, Charlie Jones, and Marvin Mims Jr.
I don't know. Now, who they haven't announced the winner yet. It's this.
They have not. You have to go ahead, like I said, and place your vote at NFL.com/voting/rookies. But yesterday, we had the privilege of speaking to one of the Week 2 nominees, and that was Puka Nacua, about being nominated in Week 2. This is what he said. From the Los Angeles Rams wide receiver, Puka Nacua. Hello, Puka. Thank you so much for joining us.
What's up? Good morning.
Good morning.
Bro, first off, congratulations. And I got to be honest, I'm always real. Bro, I had no clue who you were until Week 1. I didn't hear your name in the draft because when that 5th round came around, Ashley, I was not watching. Okay? My dog went 5th round. Hey, I'm 4th rounder, so we're in the same boat, bro. Okay? No disrespect. I was 4th round. Ain't too many people sitting around watching the draft that long, okay? And you have 15 catches in Week 2. What the heck is going on, bro? How do you feel? And tell us, are you surprised? Because the world is surprised, but are you surprised?
I wouldn't use the word surprise. Prepared for the moment, I would say, but it's definitely been a sweet one. It's been super cool and a blessing to be a part of it. I think that the man up above for watching over me, allowing me to be in this opportunity, but then that the guy number 9 in the backfield, and everybody here in the Ram organization has helped make this process and this journey started off so far really well.
Just walk us through being primed for the moment and how Matthew Stafford, how Coach McVay, how everybody within the Rams organization has helped you become prepared for these moments.
Yeah, just like you said, being able to be there alongside Cooper Kupp and to be there with Matthew Stafford, the communication those two guys have between each other is unreal. It's top, it's professional. It's the best in the world because you've seen what they do together, and then just to kind of be there a part of it and try to get the little nuances and the cues that they're communicating just in the game of football, but then to be able to get it when Matthew's talking specifically to Coop about this route on. We're breaking out against this leverage, or we're seeing this type of coverage. This is what I'm thinking. So to be on the same page, it makes it super easy because number 9.
Listen, just wanted to go ahead. Love Puka. He was a great time.
Spirit amazing.
Yeah, I mean
he would have never. No, go.
This was his second time being nominated for Rookie of the Week. But listen, if you want to vote for Puka or any of the other Week 2 nominees, voting closes Thursday at 11 a.m. The NFL will announce the winner noon on Thursday. So don't forget to go and vote. Again, the website is NFL.com/voting/rookies. Brandon, any final thoughts before we close out the show today?
Yeah, what I would say is I want to see more offensive linemen, more defensive linemen getting love. And I know it's extremely tough. A lot of people don't know how to assess it or evaluate it, but we got to have them in the conversation because they're the ones that hold everything together. And then I would say this too, like Stroud had a phenomenal game.
Stroud, not Strode.
Stroud had a phenomenal game, 300 and what yards? How many yards did he have, Ashley? And then you had Bijan, all-purpose yards, 170-something yards. What I would say to this is that this is great. No. Stop. No Denver. Y'all got to get a win. Get a win.
Whoa, crazy.
Well, they would have won if they got Marvin the ball more in the second half.
Ooh, okay. I'm with you when you're right. But we've seen that before, and it's big because they're rookies doing this, but we've seen that before. We've also seen receivers have 15 catches. But what he did, Puka, to me, he should be I'm voting for Puka because 15 catches, you don't see that often. I see what they did, Bijan and Stroud. I've seen that more than a rookie wide receiver have 15 catches and through 2 games, 25 catches, which is a record. This is the hottest start from any wide receiver that our league has ever seen. So I'm leaning towards Puka, but I can understand if people go with the quarterback, Stroud, or if they go with the running back in Bijan.
All right. Well, we shall see who is your rookie of the week tomorrow. But that does it for this edition of Paper Out. Brandon, you want to take us out? Namaste us out?
Yes. No more cursing on the show. No more all of that. We're going to go do yoga, meditation. Ashley's going to do Pilates. Liv is going to walk the Rocky Mountains, the foothills of the Rocky Mountains.
I'm lifting with my trainer in an hour.
Okay. I see them guns too. Let me see. Woo! Ashley, put them up. Ashley got some guns too. Ashley, put them. Yes, you do. Put them up. Ashley, go. Ooh! Yes. Hey, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Oh my God. Bye. Come on, Ashley.